What is going on? It is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Chrismo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Friday, 12 noon Eastern time, to help you mastermind to grow your real estate business. And what we're talking about today is launching your real estate business, getting it off the launch pad, because there's a lot of moving parts that you want to have just right to get things going, to get some momentum, to start picking up speed, but you got to get going first and foremost. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, your plan around jump-starting your real estate career so you can hit the ground running and start achieving your dream real estate career sooner than you would imagine. So that's what we're covering today. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. And welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrismo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here 12 noon every Friday to help you mastermind to grow your real estate business. So let's talk about launching your new career. So the first thing, and I'm going to just put it up here first so you can get it out of the way, take your post-licensing course. The post-licensing is not the same course as pre-licensing. It's not as focused, depending on where you take it at least, as focused on the laws and rules as your pre-licensing course is. It's more about actually practicing real estate, planning your business, understanding what components you need to have in place. So, yes, watching this live stream today, I mean, this will probably be about 30 minutes, and this is a great start, but this is much more in depth than a little 30-minute video on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching us from. So your post-licensing course, it's a requirement. You need to do it. Take it sooner rather than later. And some of these things I'm going to be mentioning up here, this is stuff that is covered in the post-licensing. So yeah, get your post-licensing. It's a requirement. You want to have the knowledge you need to succeed, and post-licensing is going to help you understand what it takes to actually have a successful real estate business, whereas your pre-licensing course is more focused on, again, not harming the public. So number two, and this is part of the post-licensing course, so if you don't take the post-licensing course right away, first off, why are you doing that? If you don't have a very good reason, take the post-licensing course right away, because in the post-licensing course, you're going to develop a business plan for your business of what it is that you're wanting to achieve and how you're going to go about achieving it. Outlining, okay, what are the goal? What is this short-term goal that we're trying to achieve, and maybe long-term? And then what are the steps that need to be taken? What are the stages? What technology is needed? What resources are needed? What money? What is this going to cost? Figuring that all out so you know what you're getting yourself into. It's like going on a road trip where you can only fill up your gas tank once and your gas gauge doesn't work. That's the equivalent of not having a business plan. You don't know how far you're able to get. You don't know where you need to go. It's like not having a GPS. This is all of your information that guides you down the right direction. And that's why you want to take the post-licensing course, because that's going to help give you information that you don't already have to help you build a more well-informed business plan. Now, number three I'm going to put on the list here is the broker. Now, why would I put the broker down as number three? Well, you do need a broker to practice real estate. This is actually the one thing on this list that you're going to need immediately before you could practice real estate. Post-licensing, you're eventually going to need it, but you're not required to do it right away, but do it right away. It'll give you some advantages. The business plan, there's no requirement whatsoever that you make a business plan. I'm recommending you do that so you have a more sustainable business. But this one right here, a broker, that is a requirement. That is necessary. And what I see a lot of agents do because of that, because, this is taught in your pre-licensing course. Yeah, you need a broker. You can't practice real estate without a broker. I mean, you find that out before you even sign up for the course, that your sales associate license can't do anything without being registered with a broker. And so what do most people do? They jump right to, well, I need a broker. That's the only requirement that I need to fulfill immediately for me to be able to practice real estate. And that statement is not incorrect because you cannot practice real estate until your license is active with a broker. But here's the problem when you jump from taking your course and jump right down to step number 3 of, hey, let me go find a broker and pick a broker, is you're out there interviewing brokers, but you don't know what you're looking for. You don't know what you need to buy. You don't know what you want to buy. And so you're going and shopping all of these brokers. And what happens if you don't have a plan, if you don't have some basic understanding of how to operate in a real estate business and you don't have a business plan laid out, whatever these brokers will tell you, if they say it in a way that sounds good, it's going to sound good, and you're not going to be sure whether it works or whether it doesn't work. And it's not even always a question of whether it works or not. It's a question of, does it work for you? Does it fit what you're trying to do? Or do you not even know what you're trying to do with real estate yet because you haven't thought that far through it? So I highly recommend before you go choose a broker, and now yes, you could always change brokers down the road or really at any point in time. There's usually nothing holding you to a particular broker except for maybe if you already have some contracts and listings with that broker, which usually in those cases you're less likely to want to change the broker it is that you're registered with. But having to invest time and money into one organization only to find out after the fact that that wasn't a good fit for you is really demoralizing. It's really defeating. And it really slows down your progress. Whereas if you do the things you don't want to do first, I know once you get your license, you want to just go right to selling real estate. I completely understand that. When I got my real estate license, that's what I did. And that's why I'm here to warn you. It's like I'm from the future. I'm from your future because I've already lived what will be your future if you're just getting your real estate license. And I'm here from the future to tell you, hey, go take your post licensing, go get yourself a business plan, figure out what it is that you want, and then when you go to interview brokers, you're able to figure out which one is going to be the best fit for you. And now once you've got a broker, we're really painting with broad strokes today. The next thing it is that you need are leads. Get your post-licensing course done, get your business plan set up, find a broker that fits your business plan, and then start bringing in the leads. Start bringing in the leads. And then, once you've figured out how to get leads, now the next code it is you want to crack is how to get listings. How do you get leads? Any type of lead. A seller lead, a buyer lead, any sort of lead. So you could get some sort of transactions going. What happens a lot of times when you're looking for leads is you end up finding buyers. Buyers are easier to work with initially, especially as a new agent. If you're brand new, you don't know what you're doing, well, hey, I could go show you some houses, and I could just keep showing you houses until you really tell me that you really want this one. I'm not going to try to convince you one way or the other because I don't have any idea of what I'm doing. That's what a lot of agents end up doing when they first get their real estate license. They jump into showing buyers homes because that's easy. You don't really need much technical knowledge just to go show homes. You can say, oh yeah, and this, no, let's see here. My real estate course, I learned this is what we call a living room. This is what we call a bathroom. A little bit of an oversimplification, but you get the idea. It's easy to show a home. Now they might ask some more as the transaction progresses and it gets more towards the actual closing, or really just even towards making an offer. I remember when I first started showing properties, I was terrified to show properties because my biggest fear was what if they wanted to make an offer on it? And I didn't know how to make an offer on a property. I've never done that before. This was one of my first buyers that I was showing, and I multiple buyers I had that I would almost even subconsciously look for excuses or reasons why they might not want to buy that house or why we could maybe reschedule something. And it was just the fear because I didn't know how to make an offer. And so the post-licensing course, if you take the post-licensing course initially, now you're not going to learn all of the technicalities and specifics that your particular broker is going to require. Because when you eventually join a broker, they'll have a very specific, in most cases, they'll have a specific way it is that they operate, they do things, certain documents that they want you to use, certain ways to fill out those documents. So the broker that you choose will train you more on those specifics. But none of those specifics are going to make sense if you don't even know the basics that you learn in the post-licensing about how the submission of an offer works and how the negotiation process works. And again, the more detailed version of what actually goes on in the real world compared to pre-licensing, where it focuses on, your contract needs to have these 4 legal elements. So you want to try to get some leads going in. We got off on a tangent there. Get some leads coming in. It's probably going to be buyer leads, but hey, let's say you get a seller lead. You get a seller lead, you're moving towards now step number 5 of getting listings. Now, why do you want listings? Why do you want to put an emphasis on listings? Notice how I didn't put here leads and buyers. Leads, that'll be all buyers. Buyers, sellers, renters, anybody that wants something to do with real estate and we could somehow help them, they're in that lead category and we want to direct them towards us and see if we could turn that into an opportunity. But we want to also intentionally, actively seek out listings, properties that we could market for sale. Because you might remember, I don't know if anybody still gets the newspaper, but you might remember back in the newspaper days where you'd get the Sunday paper, and the Sunday paper would have all the little magazines, or not magazines, but the little ads, the flyers from all like Best Buy and Circuit City and Home Depot and Lowe's and Sears and all of these companies. They'd send out their weekly ad, their weekly flyer with all the deals. And especially when you look at stuff like this in 2020, it's mostly moved on the internet, and you look at all the sales and deals and things like that, and sometimes even if something is a sale price, you're like, okay, but that's what I expect it to cost. So we want to do the same thing with real estate. You want to model that same concept, because those ads, why they had done those and if anybody still gets a newspaper, I'm sure the Sunday paper is still chock full of all these ads for the people that are still getting the Sunday papers. Because it works. It gets information out there about not only you and your organization, what it is, but what it is you have to offer, which are your listings. So you want to actively make a conscious effort to get listings so that way you have products to market. Now, yes, you can sell any property that's in the MLS, and really any property out there for the most part. It doesn't have to be one of your listings that you sell. But when you invest in marketing and advertising, you want to make sure that you're maximizing your return on investment. And you're going to maximize the return on investment when you market your own listings, when you drink your own Kool-Aid, because if you end up finding a buyer for one of those listings, you've now doubled your commission. And even if one of these buyers, because most of the time what happens is the leads that you get from listings, they don't end up buying the listing. There's ultimately going to be one person that does buy it, whether you find them or another realtor finds them. There's going to be one person that buys it, but only one person. Whereas you might have at least tens, if not hundreds, of leads that come in off of a single listing when you get it more exposure, when you get more people to see it, when you get more people to take interest in it. And they might not like that property, but maybe one of the other properties you could show them they're interested in. Maybe one of your other listings, or even if it's not one of your other listings, you're still getting paid for any other property that's in the MLS that has a cooperating commission with that. But the listings, those are like the carrots that you're dangling on the pole. If you remember in the cartoons where they dangle a carrot on the pole to lead some little animal around, that's what you're using to lure them in. You're using your products, your listings, to get attention on your business, to show people that, hey, we sell houses. We can help you buy a house. Come to us if you want to buy a house. Now, like I said, each of these are going to have more detailed aspects to them. There's a lot of things covered in the post-licensing, in the business plan. I mean, we've done tons of videos on how to set up a business plan, how to do some of the math and calculations and understand some of the stuff like that. Choosing a broker, we've done videos on those ones before. Leads, listings, we've done videos on every single one of these, because each one of these involve a lot more than just naming the bullet point here. But sometimes what you've got to do is you've got to take a step back. It's like if you look at, like, let's say you're looking at a map, like you got Google Maps loaded up on your phone. And if you zoom in, you could see all these details, but you don't see the big picture. Whereas when you zoom out, you don't see all the details, but you start to see the big picture more. And that's what you've got to kind of balance. You've got to balance the big picture, which involves a lot of different aspects, some things that you might not be ready or prepared for yet. The reason why a lot of new agents don't end up getting listings is because they're afraid of listings. As long as I was afraid of helping my clients submit an offer, I wasn't making any offers. So, in the listing, it's a little bit more of an intimidating process compared to working with a buyer initially, because when you're working with a buyer, you're doing a lot of work towards the back end of the transaction. Yes, there's a lot of showings, but other than your time it takes to drive around and show these properties, that really doesn't take much skill or technical ability to show properties. To be able to unlock the house, turn on the lights, you don't need a license to, well, you do need a license to do that, but that license hopefully it's not going to teach you how to go turn on light switches and open doors. That's the easy stuff. The more difficult stuff comes when you start to negotiate the contracts, when you're submitting offers and going back and forth between the seller and the buyer, maybe on multiple properties, maybe on working with the lender on holding the whole deal together. At the beginning, when you're just showing properties, that's the easy stuff. And it turns into more difficult of a process as you get closer to the closing. Whereas for a seller, it's usually where it's at least a little bit more balanced, but more so with the work at the beginning. Because when you're working with a seller, you have this work in the beginning of going on the listing appointment, giving them a presentation, taking measurements of the property, getting photos of the property, negotiating the commission rate it is that you're charging, negotiating the terms of the listing, holding open houses. A lot of this stuff, this gets done at the beginning. So the listing agent, right from the get-go, there's a lot more detailed technical things, more complicated things from the beginning. And if you never make an effort to figure out how to get listings, you'll end up getting burnt out on buyers because on average, and this is another reason why you want to prioritize listings. Not prioritize them before leads. First and foremost, just get leads, any type of lead, doesn't matter who they are. Figure out who you could serve and make some money in the process. And even if you're not sure of how you can make money on it, figure out how you could serve them, and then the money will come. That will come. Don't be afraid of working for free. You're working for free. When you get your real estate license, you're working for free until you sell something. And not just when you sell it, but when it actually closes. Or until you lease something. And then when you lease something, you usually don't get paid until 30 days after the move-in date. Results may vary depending on the particular situation you're dealing with here, but embrace working for free. Embrace it. Because working for free leads to working to get paid. I mean, you've all heard the stories before. I mean, there's all kinds of versions, or you might have heard of, somebody going into a shop and just picking up a broom and sweeping one day and they kept back, or somebody coming in and folding clothes and they kept coming back, and then the owner offered them a job. I don't know if anything like that has really ever happened, but that's what happens in real estate. We go over to buyers and we go do a little work for them. We go show them a house. We go show them another house. We go show them another house. We go show them another house. Then we help them make an offer. Then we help them negotiate the offer. Then we help them navigate the whole closing process. And we're doing all this work for free until the closing day comes, and then boom, giant check. Good things come to those who wait. So investing the time and figuring out how this works, figuring out how to do this, figuring out what your plan is and how you're going to execute that plan, how you're going to get the right broker in place to help you execute that plan, how you're going to get the leads, because if you plan on making money in real estate, you're going to need some people to help. You got to have some people to serve. We call them leads until you're doing business with them. Then we call them clients. So you need some leads. Now, you don't need listings to be successful in real estate, but you could be so much more successful if you pick up some listings. And that's why that one's down here at the bottom of the list. Because it's not a requirement to be successful in real estate. There's tons of agents that work solely with buyers and are just buyer's agents and are more than happy being a buyer's agent and has no interest in doing listings. If that's your prerogative, that's fantastic. Real estate is what you make of it. You make it what you want it to be. But if you're looking to be able to grow that business, if that person that's like, I don't really like sellers and listings, and they say, well, how about this? Do you want to grow your business? And they say, well, yeah, I do. Well, how about we use listings to increase the amount of buyers it is that you have, so you have more buyers for you, the buyer's agent, because listings are a great source of leads. But first, just focus on getting some leads in the first place. If one of those leads turns out to be a seller, well, you just fast-track your way to getting a listing. But if those leads turn out to be a buyer, go figure out how to get them a house. Figure out how to get them in a house so you get paid a little bit of money. You could reinvest in your business, maybe do a little advertising, a little bit of marketing. Maybe get yourself some of those listings there. Post licensing, I just want to put this link up here. postflorida.com. That has more details on our post licensing course. It's the schedule of upcoming classes. We've actually got an on-demand one that you could complete on your own pace any time of day or night, 24/7, whenever it is that you want to do it. But all the details for that are available at postflorida.com. For all these other topics here, for creating the most effective business plan, for understanding some of the math, for understanding what should go into your business plan, and really also how your business plan isn't just something that you make once at the beginning of your career and that's it, you never do anything like that again, but really it's something that, yes, you do at the beginning, but something that you constantly revise. It's a living document that you edit and change and modify to adapt to the environment, to adapt to the economy, to adapt to your clients, to adapt to the way it is you do business. If you go to change a broker, like I said, that's why you want to try to figure out the broker right away, so you're not investing time and money in a broker you don't ultimately have a long-term relationship with. Because if you go to broker A and then you go change to broker B, you're going to have to learn how broker B operates. What are the things it is that they do? And anything that's different than the way broker A operated is going to conflict and just make your life more difficult. Now, you might still end up changing brokers even if you take your post-licensing course right away. This isn't a guarantee that you're going to find the perfect broker. We're not eHarmony.com helping you match with the perfect broker here. This is just to help you better understand you, and that definition will change as your real estate business grows. So someday you probably will maybe end up changing brokers again, or maybe you decide to get your own broker license and start your own brokerage. So that could still happen down the road, but you just don't want that happening all together in the first couple of months where you go find a broker and you go invest a bunch of time and money and then you go realize there's another broker you like better and you go switch over. Most people aren't going to make that switch that would be for their benefit because they've already invested so much with that broker they've already joined. So doing a little bit of due diligence first, looking inward rather than looking outward, figuring out again what it is that you want, and then what are the steps it is you need to take to achieve that. How do you put the steps in motion? What are the things, how many leads do you have to get to that level of income? And how do you track all of this so you can constantly tweak and modify the way that your business operates to continue to grow your business to where it is that you want to take it? So that's what a good business plan is designed to do, and a good broker is designed to support your business plan, to provide technology, to provide tools, to provide training that's going to help you accomplish your hopes, goals, and dreams. That's the mission of most brokerages in one way or another. But what it comes down to, again, of who the best brokerage is going to be for you, is which one best aligns with what you need to achieve the level of success you desire from real estate. Because all the brokers are different. They have different things to offer, different programs, different packages, different compensation systems. So figure out what you want before you go join that broker. I can't stress that one enough. Leads. A lot of ways you can get leads. You could start just by the people it is that you already know, your sphere of influence. You might say, oh, well, John, I just moved to Tampa. I don't know anybody here in Tampa if you're in Tampa. I say, well, where'd you move from? Oh, I just moved here from New York. Oh, do you have any friends and family? Oh, everybody's back up in New York. Okay, well, let's bring them down here. Let's get them to Florida. Don't they know we got this nice weather? Don't we know we've got this, that, or all these other things it is that they find interesting that they might want? Well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Good. Get out of the phone. Make yourself known. Create relationships with more people. That's what you're really ultimately trying to do to grow your business. That's the one thing it is. Really, any business, if you could create deeper relationships with more people. Deeper relationships with more people. And when I say a deeper relationship, where somebody trusts you more, where not only they're doing business with you, but they're referring their friends and family to do business with you. That's a powerful relationship. And you want to not just have a few powerful relationships, you want to constantly grow the number of relationships that you have as well. So you've got more people that trust you as their real estate professional. And not just people that trust you, but people that are willing to refer their friends and family to you. That's sphere of influence alone. There's a lot of agents that practice real estate and operate without doing any marketing, and they operate solely just on their sphere of influence. Now that's definitely good, and I would definitely have that, but hey, if you've got that down, maybe throw some marketing on it as well if you're really trying to grow a large business. That might not be your prerogative. That might not be what it is that you want. You might be happy with just being a one-person operation. Maybe you don't want the stress of having to manage others. That's understandable. It's not for everyone. It could be, look, it doesn't matter how much money you're making if you hate your life. If you hate your life, yeah, the money is probably making you hate it less than if you hated your life if you didn't have the money. But ultimately, you have to figure out what it is that you want out of real estate. And that's a big part of this business planning. That's the first step is, okay, what is it that you want out of it? And then that's where the business plan really comes in, or what are the specific steps you take to get you as close to that goal as possible and eventually hitting that goal. And then again, listings. Once you're actively seeking out listings, check out some of these State of Real Estate episodes that we've done. You can find all those at tampaschool.com/success. That's tampaschool.com/success. That's where we've got all these videos as well as Facebook and YouTube. But there's a lot of ways you could use listings to get you more business. When you first list your property, you've got the opportunity to go shout from the mountaintops, just list it. When you got an open house, shout from the mountaintops, hey, we're holding an open house, come on down. It goes under contract. Go shout from the mountaintops, this property's under contract. It just sold, go shout from the mountaintops, just sold. There's numerous opportunities to use your listings to get attention on your business. And really, it's your duty to get this attention, because not only are you getting attention for your business, you're getting attention for the listing. So you're also, by doing this, doing a phenomenal job for your seller, while at the same time really helping you get a lot of exposure for your business. You're able to expose this property to more people, which will result in more offers and higher offers and bidding wars and getting the property sold faster, all things the seller would desire. If you go sit down at your listing presentation and ask the seller, hey, would you want your house to sell faster or slower? Faster, okay, gotcha. And do you want more money or less money? Okay, more money, gotcha. And I mean, you can see where I'm going with this. You could ask these questions and the answers are going to be the same for pretty much every person, because every seller wants to sell their house quicker. They want to get more money. They want to get more offers on the property. And if they don't, they just don't understand the best way to sell real estate. And it's your job to inform them on how multiple offer. You don't want just one offer, because that's a misconception I've seen before. Where they're like, oh, well, we just need one buyer. We just need the buyer. They're always looking for the buyer. You don't want just the buyer. You want everybody who's possibly even thinking about buying your property to submit an offer, because that ultimately pushes the price to the highest level possible. But if all these people don't know this property exists and then it's for sale, this could be somebody's dream home. But that person's dream home, they're just sitting in a recliner on their phone looking at ads that aren't your ads. And they never find out about their dream home because you didn't properly advertise it and market it. And that person maybe would have paid 2 times the listing price, but you didn't advertise it and market to them. So, and yes, again, I'm being extreme with that. But the point being that you getting this exposure, this isn't just self-seeking. This isn't just you trying to grow your business. Yes, that's a great benefit of this as well. But this is going to get greater exposure for the property. And this is the best way to advertise, because not only is it a win-win between your seller and you, but it also is an extremely effective method for advertising, for getting leads in our business. You know, you might have seen ads before where I've seen them where real estate professionals and brokerages will send out ads about why they're the best. Those are the worst ads I've ever seen. Any company, whenever it is, they're trying to do something that's like, hey, here's why we are the best. We have this, we have that, we have this, we have this. It's boring. It's not interesting. Those things aren't things that make you stand out. Maybe they are, but in the consumer's eyes, they're things to be expected. Your consumers expect you to have a perfect rating. Your consumers expect you to have experience. Your consumers expect you to have expertise. That doesn't capture their attention. What does capture their attention is the houses they want to buy. And that's why you want to make listings part of your plan when you're launching your real estate business. But again, start out, get your post licensing knocked out as soon as possible. That's going to teach you how to build a business plan. And so build a plan and tweak that every single day to keep it up to date, to keep it current, to keep it something that applies to where your business is at. Use that information to find the best broker for you. Start bringing some leads in. And then once you've got a consistent flow of leads, start focusing on your listing game and increasing the amount of listings you have. You do these things and I don't want to say it's a turnkey real estate business, because this is a lot of things and a lot of work here, but this is it. This is the steps. You can do these things. You're going to be more successful than your average realtor if you get to the point where you're carrying listings. Your typical agent, they might not have any listings. So that's all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you got questions, 813-333-2676. Call us up. That's it for today. I'll see you next week.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
State of real estate.